Well, I went to go see a movie.
Ooh, what'd you
I
see?
got a movie review too.
Okay.
I saw 2 movies. I'm hoping we could get Ryan on the line for the next movie that I'll talk about. But for now, I'm going to talk about a movie with Tom Hanks.
Okay.
Well, of course they put his name on it because he's the big name of it. But it's actually a documentary. It's not a movie. Well, technically yes and no. It's a documentary about typewriters. Specifically, it's called California Typewriters.
Mm-hmm.
Or Typewriter, I should say. And it's about this shop in Oakland, the Bay Area, where it's like pretty much the only standing typewriter repair shop.
Okay.
And it talks about how, or it explains how the guy started working there and how he owns the shop. He's like, now it's like, he takes typewriters and fixes them for people who still use typewriters. And the reason Tom Hanks is in this movie, or in this documentary, is because he's actually an avid typewriter person.
Oh, okay.
He loves his typewriters, and they see him at his house with all his typewriters.
He's with typewriters the way Norman Reedus is with cameras. You know about
yeah,
Norman Reedus,
I was
right?
obsessed with cameras. Yeah, that's kind of the way how Tom Hanks is with typewriters. He loves them. He talks about his favorite ones. He talks about the brands. There's a million different brands there's like a ton of different brands. I mean, obviously because this was like the first like computer-esque type of thing.
We need to have Amber on here so she can tell her Norman Reedus story.
She has a story
about cameras, about a camera. Yeah, she went to a con a few years ago.
That'd be interesting to hear.
It's pretty cool. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. So they talk about all these, or he talks about his favorite typewriter and like how each of them have their own feel, the way they touch, the way the keys, and the way that the grooves are.
He's
and
one
like,
of those weirdos.
Yeah. And apparently there are a lot of weirdos like that. And I'm saying weirdos.
I mean that in the nicest way possible.
Yeah. I'm a weirdo for a lot of different things too.
Yeah. Same here.
And honestly, like I went into this movie like just seeing it because, well, Tom Hanks is in it, and I got nothing else to do.
And there's traffic. For the next minutes.
Yeah. So fuck it. Let's see what this is all about. And I am so glad I saw this, and I highly encourage. I'm like, it has 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, and you think like, oh, it probably has like a few reviews. It has quite a few reviews, you know, like 1 or 2 reviews, and it has 100%. But no,
that's cool.
This documentary is good because it gets into the culture of the people who live by typewriters. Right. You know, and
so it's not all hipsters that
No. It's even like older generation of people who just love typewriters and won't use anything else.
That's awesome.
Because what's his name is in it too? The musician John Mayer? Is that his name?
Okay.
Yeah, John Mayer. He's in it too because like he's a few years back recently got into the whole typewriter deal because his story was he went to his music. What's the music museum? What is it called?
Oh shit, I don't know.
The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, is it?
Well, yeah, there's
like
that,
the whole museum. They have like a whole museum of
it,
right? So he was walking around there and he's noticing like he's seeing like all these famous musicians like Jimi Hendrix or whatever, you know, and all their papers and written, you know, how they write their song. Like you can go into that museum and look at their process. Yeah. You know, but and he started thinking, you know, like when, you know, other current musicians get their stuff there, you know, what are they going to have? Hard drives? You know?
A cell phone with
a cell phone, Google, you know, or things like
Google
that.
Keep open, yeah.
So he decided to himself that he was going to get a typewriter, and he's been using a typewriter ever since to write his songs.
That's cool.
Because if you make a mistake, well, fuck it, just keep going.
It's still there.
It's still there. You're going to see the mistakes I made. You're going to see the mistakes.
And it's something tangible. It's something
exactly.
there.
That's exactly what I was getting to. He's like, this is something tangible. You can't delete this.
Yeah.
This is here forever.
That's
just
cool.
Keep it away from fire.
Yeah.
Which I thought was funny.
I want to see that now.
And dude, it's like it makes me actually want a typewriter because it makes sense and like you just pour your heart out, you know. It's like you just get there, start typing. You know, if you make a mistake, just keep going, you know. But when you're on a computer, you make a mistake, you know, you have all this passion. Like, oh, wait a minute, you know,
there
go back,
and then it's gone.
And exactly what he says, like you just stopped yourself from pouring your heart out, and you get distracted and do other things. Yeah, you know, and the way he talks about it was just so poetic, and not just John Mayer or Tom Hanks, because also the guy who runs the shop, he talks about this too. You know, I'm just naming their names because they're the bigger names in this.
Obviously.
But the guy who runs the shop too is like I've been working on these since I was a kid. Like these typewriters tell a story. Yeah. You know, they tell, you can see, like, it's all machine. There's nothing, you don't plug this in. You know, it like, you know, going through it, there's people's DNA on this. You know, it actually tells a story.
Yeah.
They also get into another guy who I've actually seen his articles way back when, because he's been in like Wired and The Verge. What he does is he takes old typewriters and tears them apart and makes art from it.
Oh, cool.
So he knows obviously a lot about typewriters too, and what he does is like he basically tears the thing apart and makes things like he made like this full-on deer out of typewriters parts.
Right.
It's insane.
That's pretty cool.
And like one of his he talks about the other stuff he made, like you know how long those key things are?
Yeah.
Like I don't know what they're
The
called.
arms.
Yeah, the arms when they
with
hit.
the letters on it. Yeah.
Like he took a bunch of those and made a bird out of it with its wings.
That's
created
awesome.
by that. It's so interesting. It's so cool. And he's friends with the guy who owns the shop because he's basically the only other guy he knows that has typewriters or has parts that he does that the guy at the shop doesn't have.
Right.
You know, so they go back and forth and trade parts if they need parts.
That's pretty cool, man.
It gets into the history of it. There's this one guy who like is probably the obsessed one, like Norman Reedus probably might be, where he wants, like his dream is to have the very first typewriter.
Oh, okay, yeah,
and
that's cool.
He goes to the museum and like he's full on like sexually aroused. It seems
heavy
by
breathing.
This, yes,
on
he's
it,
like,
yeah.
oh my god. And he's like, can I press the button? He's Canadian German. He's like, can I press the button? So he has like this thick accent. So then he starts typing on it, and then he shows his story on how he's trying to find this original typewriter. He finds someone who has like 12 of them, but the guy doesn't want to sell any of them. So that kind of sucks for him.
That's a bummer.
But yeah, like it gets really deep into like the history of it, and you really kind of appreciate. Oh, there's this one person, this woman in San Francisco who writes poetry. She has her own typewriter, and she basically goes, "What is that one place called? The
Embarcadero.
Embarcadero.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's there all the time, always typing like poetry for anyone who wants something written.
That's cool.
So like you just you just tell her, you know, something, and then she'll just take it and write poetry out of it.
Mistakes and all. That's great.
Yeah,
I love it.
And it's just so fascinating. Like, there's one line that Tom Hanks says in this was that like I love it when I can find someone where I'm making a movie or something, and someone says, "Oh, that's a nice typewriter. Like I like typewriters." Like, do you want a typewriter? I got one for you.
Yeah.
And he sends him a typewriter.
That's cool.
And then he says, but here's the thing, like I gave someone a typewriter once. I go to their place, you know, to visit, and they have the typewriter on their shelf, and he's like, no, get that shit off your shelf, put it on your desk and use it.
Yeah.
You know, I gave it to you, use it. It's not art.
Yeah, that's funny.
And,
you make art with
it.
And
he talks about like I love getting, you know what, I like sending out thank you letters, and I do it with my typewriter. I don't send you an email. Anyone can send an email, you know, but when you get an actual physical paper, you know, type that on a typewriter. Like if you send me, like if I work with you and you send me something that you've done on a typewriter or handwritten, I'm gonna cherish that forever.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that puts in more thought than an email you can do in 5 seconds on your fucking phone.
Yeah.
You know.
That's pretty cool. I want to see that now. That sounds awesome.
It's the 100% is definitely not a lie. It's that good.
Very cool.
I actually wouldn't mind seeing this again. It's a good movie or a good documentary. I highly recommend you see it. Like I said, it actually kind of makes me want to get a typewriter just for it.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, and it's funny. There's spots where they have like this kind of open house for their shop, and these kids are there. And there's one kid that's like, it's so cool, you don't have to plug it in, which I thought was kind of funny.
That's hilarious. Well, this thing doesn't... How do you use it? You don't plug it in or turn it on? No, you just go, man. You just go.
Yeah, so it's a very sweet documentary. I love it. I could actually see this probably on my top 5. Maybe.
Ooh, I've only seen 2 movies this year, so... I don't think I'll have a top 5 this year. I might just have a top 1.
Top 1.
Yeah.
Well...